Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to the next episode. Today we're going to be putting that theory, or at least talking about putting that theory in practice from things we talked about last week. You've planned it, you've designed it, it's all ready. So what's next? So now you've got your plans in place, everything like that. You really want to start doing some work on the allotment or in your garden. And one of the ways to do this is work out which way your structures are going to face. So what you want is you want your greenhouse and your polytunnel to be at the centre of things. You want them to be at a point where they have the maximum amount of sun. There's no point after all in having a greenhouse in the shade. The same is true of the compost heap. You want it ideally sited so it gets maximum rainfall and it gets aeration, so you want it in a well ventilated place, for example. And then you've got your beds, and they need to be small enough to work. For example, like this one here, you need to be able to reach through, so you need to be able to reach to the centre. So here I can comfortably reach to the centre. If it was too big, I might not be able to reach the centre. I might end up walking on the soil, which is never a good thing to do. And also, it's whether you want to build raised beds like these or just plant them straight in the ground. The issue is here, it all depends on your soil. If you have soil that's very heavy and clay, you really don't want to be planting straight into the ground because things get waterlogged and the plants might suffer as a result. So if you've got that really heavy, claggy, clay soil that just won't work, build something like this, raise the soil up, and that'll allow you to be able to grow veg with no problems whatsoever. Another consideration is paths, or should we say path sizes and widths. I want the beds to be easily accessible. You want to be able to put wheelbarrows through, you want to be able to easily reach every bed. And if you look here, I've got a mesh network of paths here. It's easy and quick to reach whatever bed I'm choosing to work. Final consideration is what you're going to fill your beds with once they're built. That's soil, and depending on what you grow, really depends on what soil you have. So things like carrots, for example, to need a sandy soil, need a very fine soil. They don't grow well without that. Potatoes, on the other hand, can do with a very rich soil. And they're handy for breaking up clay, for example. So if you've got a wet clay and a horrible claggy soil, consider growing potatoes in them because they'll help break it up. For other things, you've got to consider things like pH values. Most brassicas like pHs that are quite high, like alkaline soil. Whereas most plants like something around neutral to acidic. So it's important that you know exactly what your soil you're using for what you're planting. And this is important when you're creating a rotation plan, because each rotation plan for every year should work in unison with the soil you're using. It's really good. So soil is important, don't forget that. But it can be expensive. It's very expensive to fill for the first time, or it can be anyway, unless you already had a dedicated compost heap at home. But the way to do it is to fill it once and then create your own compost heaps, like the one over there, in order to create your own mulches every year, and then you're on your way and you're set. We've come to the end of this episode, and thanks for watching. We'll cover some of these topics in future episodes in more depth. If you enjoyed this episode, like, follow and share, and then you can be notified of more episodes as they come along. Again, thanks for watching, stay safe and take care.